If you're thinking of building a website in a seasonal niche, then there are some things you're going to need to know about, and some things that even an experienced person like me actually still struggles to deal with. So let's have a look at seasonality inside a niche website. Let's get into this. Hi and welcome back to the channel again. Today I'm going to talk about seasonality within your niche website. If you're thinking of starting a website, or you may already have one and you've just started it and you didn't realize it had some seasonality to it, there are some things that you're going to want to actually be aware of, because they kind of hit you like a ton of bricks. So I've been building a gardening website, and of course I knew it had some seasonality to it. I started the website at the beginning of the year and it's been very successful, and got it to a point where it has around 120,000 page views. Now granted, there's a lot of content on there. Now I've been writing content about everything to do with gardening, but particularly focusing on your normal summer things like when to plant seeds, how to propagate plants, types of compost, and all sorts of gardening tips. Now, most of these were related to summer, and the peak season for gardening for interest in the topic is around March, April, and May each year, especially here in the UK and in the US as well, where I'm targeting my audience. Now, I understood that there was seasonality to it, but I wasn't prepared for when that seasonality started to drop off and affect the traffic and the revenue. Now, I was so thrilled with the website getting up to 120,000 page views and earning nearly $3,000 per month after the site had only been up and running for about 7 or 8 months. And that was thrilling to see. What is not thrilling is to see the steady decline over time as this website's seasonality kicks in and we start to go out of the gardening season and more towards autumn, fall, winter. And that has actually shocked me how dramatic that drop is. So I've seen the website go from 120,000 page views and steadily climbing whoosh, like that, looking all incredible, to see it go drop, 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 drop as the weeks and months go by. Now, like I said, I did expect this, and you have to be prepared for it. And there are some things I've done to prepare myself for it, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But it's still shocking to see the traffic drop and the income follow suit. Now, if you're not a seasoned professional or experienced niche website builder, I think you do need to be aware of this, because it will really affect your mentality and your thought process. And it does actually, take you by surprise. This is the first website I've really had that's had such a seasonality to it. And you can see the graph behind me there. I'll try and zoom in so you get a clearer picture. That is the Google Trends, and it shows you the incredible peaks and troughs that this website will go through over the years. Now, like I said, this is the first year I've had this gardening website, so maybe in year 2 or year 3, I will be 100% used to the seasonality and it won't come as such a shock. But if you're just starting out, it may be advisable for you to try and alleviate some of that seasonality if possible. Now, what I mean by that is like I said, did know that this would have some seasonality to it. And right back in March and April of this year, I started to prepare for the drop-off in traffic and for when this seasonality hits. So I started to cover out-of-season topics like Christmas and things like Halloween and anything like that to do with gardens. So decorating your garden for Halloween, types of plants using Christmas wreaths, popular types of Christmas trees that you can grow in your garden. Things like that, search terms that will be more popular in the off season in gardening. So I already started that in March, April to actually try and alleviate some of this traffic drop. And it has done to an extent, but it's not done an incredible job. There is still a massive drop off from something like 120,000 page views down at the moment to around 70,000. Now, normally I would see that and panic like crazy, but I understand it is the seasonality. So I just wanted to make this video because it might be worthwhile, if you have a website that's seasonal, to make sure you try and offset some of that drop in traffic by trying to cover topics that are out of season. So I will certainly, for the rest of the year, be publishing content around out of season gardening, like I say, Christmas and events like that, maybe fireworks in the back garden, Halloween stuff, more of that, so that next year when this out of season period hits, it won't be as dramatic. I want to try and, instead of seeing my traffic go like that, I want to see it maybe go level a little bit more and then peak next year when we hit our prime time, which is April and May. So there are many, many different types of niches that will have seasonality to it. There's many sports, there's many hobbies that will be affected with seasonality. And you just need to make sure if you are in one of those niche, number one, you're mentally prepared for that hit. You will definitely see a hit in traffic. You will definitely see a loss of income, and you need to plan and prepare for that. And number two, you need to make sure, like I say, that you have topics that you can cover for that out of season time. So that's it for now. I just wanted to mention seasonality on niche websites. Not a thing I've talked about before, and not something I'd really concerned myself with until I started to see my traffic go down every day. But fingers crossed, come February, March and April, we will see that traffic start to come back in leaps and bounds. Fingers crossed. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.